As Mike stepped into the expansive former production area, the air felt different, the atmosphere thick and electric, almost as if it were charged with memories of days gone by. The tall ceilings and towering machines stood like sentinels against the creeping dusk, their metallic surfaces cold and unyielding. Flickering lights above cast erratic shadows across the concrete floor, causing him to squint as he navigated through the remnants of a forgotten era. He rolled his shoulders back and surveyed the surroundings, half-heartedly, hoping for a peaceful night, punctuated only by the comforting hum of routine. However, as he began his patrol, Mike's instincts, honed by years of late-night vigils, kicked in. A door that he was certain he had secured during his initial round now stood ajar, creaking softly on its hinges as if beckoning him to step closer. A frown etched itself onto his forehead. Perhaps the winds from outside had caught it, or maybe it was merely the failing hinges, a consequence of years without maintenance. He dismissed the thought, convincing himself that his mind was playing tricks as fatigue began to settle in. Yet the deeper he ventured into the shadow, within him. As he rounded a rusting conveyor belt, a flash of color caught his eye among the debris. Beneath a pile of dusty tarps, he uncovered a piece of old clothing, marred with dark, dried stains that were unmistakably blood. A chill crawled along the back of his neck. This was no mere break-in. The implications of his find twisted his stomach into knots, driving home the reality that he was not alone in this desolate place. With his heart racing, he frantically scanned the area, searching for any signs of an intruder. But what he found was a suffocating emptiness that echoed the frantic pace of his thoughts. His flashlight flickered ominously, casting fleeting beams on the crumbling walls as he turned to leave. Yet panic gripped him when he discovered the exits sealed shut. Heavy doors that once provided escape were now inexplicably barred. He fumbled for his radio, breath quickening as the familiar static refused to respond. Mike was trapped. Dread settled in, profound and suffocating, like a weight on his chest. He was entangled in a nightmare with no way to wake up. Suddenly a sharp crackle erupted. The inevitable confrontation loomed on the horizon. As Mike circled back towards the heart of the factory, the palpable tension electrified the air. He would confront this phantom who held the keys to both their destinies, who believed him complicit in the sins of the past. Yet in that space riddled with memories and shadows, he knew that survival would not just require cunning. It would demand an unveiling of the truth buried under layers of deceit.
"Enough of this game!"
Mike shouted, his voice steady despite the terror roiling inside him.
"Let's end this."
There, in the heart of the factory, beneath layers of forgotten memories and hidden resentments, Mike braced himself for what was to come. The edge of darkness met the flickering light of revelation, setting the stage for a final clash that would force both men to confront the consequences of a legacy stained by blood. And as a final dance of fate unfolded, Mike stood resolute, ready to expose the shadows that had one of the factory's mechanisms, which sealed the tormentor's fate within a compartment filled with corrupted memories and haunting echoes. But the victory was marred by the chaos around him. The factory now roared with flames, heat hitting his skin. Mike sprinted toward the nearest exits, each step echoing the urgency of his survival. The inferno unleashed its wrath, consuming the evidence of their struggle while Mike pushed himself harder, fear and adrenaline propelling him forward. Just as he burst through the exit, the factory imploded behind him, a cacophony of metal and ruin, eclipsed only by the blinding light of fire consuming the tormentor whole. Mike collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath as sirens wailed in the distance. Firefighters poured onto the scene, scrambling to tackle the flames that now danced maliciously among the factory's ruins. As Mike lay on the cold ground, injured but alive, he couldn't help but reflect on the harrowing night. The weight of the factory's dark past pressed upon him, intertwining with his psyche. He had thought he was fighting for survival, but now he understood. He was also fighting for the memories of those lost, their stories entwined within the smoke that billowed into the night sky. And as the fire flickered in the periphery, Mike knew that the shadows of the factory would never truly be extinguished. They would linger, engraved in the fabric of his consciousness, an eternal reminder of the truths he had unearthed, and the scars he would forever carry.